What's going on, everybody? I am back with the Mazdaspeed 3 and we are going to be removing the rear bumper. Let me show you why. So today we are going to be removing the rear bumper, and this is why, because I have a few goodies here. I have the rear deflector replacement lights. So where the red deflectors go, we will be popping in some new LED lights that are totally going to transform the rear bumper, as well as I got some black vinyl wrap for the rear Valiant section. So this whole section underneath this little line right here all the way across kind of wraps down over the exhaust and the license plate. I do like the look of it, so I picked up some black vinyl wrap. So we're going to try and do that ourselves. I have never done any wrap before. I'm not a rapper. Well, I have one time, and if you guys saw on Instagram, we got a new business van. I have not released that video just yet. We are still working on it, but for the time being, breaking the news, got a new business van, super cool thing. We're doing a bunch of work on it to get it up and running. So all I've done for wrap jobs is white wrap, and we covered up the back windows. I was quoted $200 to do it, and this wrap was like 30 bucks and took like maybe two and a half hours to do. So huge money saver, and it's honestly a little bit more difficult than I thought, but something you can totally do at home, especially on like easier things that are just completely flat. I don't recommend doing anything you're not comfortable with. We're gonna try this out. We're gonna be doing the black wrap for the Valiants on the rear bumper for the Mazda. We are going to be installing these LED lights, and to do that, we have to remove the rear bumper, which is also something I've never done, so I'm not too sure. So we're gonna figure this all out together. I know it's not too hard. You can do this in the driveway. So let's get to removing the rear bumper and putting in these little upgrades. So let's go do it. All right, so starting us off, we have to remove every single bolt that holds this bumper on. So where those two little tabs are on either side in the trunk hides a couple screws. You can start there. Moving on to the side of the bumper, when you peel back the wheel well, you will find a couple hidden screws that hold in the clips that the bumper clips into. So you can remove those. You don't have to remove any mud flaps if you have them, just where the wheel well meets the bumper. Those are the only screws you'll have to remove. And then underneath the bumper itself, there are a couple more bolts that hold the bumper to the rear of the car. So just pop your head under and you cannot miss them. It might be a little tricky, but you can take those out as well. We will clean up this bumper. As you can tell, I just got it oil sprayed and it has been running. So I got to clean this bad boy up, and then we can do the wrap. So the wrap will be going, if you see this line, all the way across, and it'll cover this whole bottom portion around the exhausts. And I think it's gonna look pretty freaking cool. All right, we got the bumper off. Look at that. No more bumper, no more tail lights. We're just gonna wash down this bumper because I have a bunch of oil from the oil spray I just got done. So we're just gonna wash this down. I got a bottle of some soapy water and a shop towel, and we're just gonna quickly wipe this down, get all the oil off, and then give it a good rinse and a dry. So after we get this washed up, we can spray like alcohol on it, and then that will help get all the debris and everything off. So when we put our wrap down, there's nothing going to be in between the paint and the wrap that will make it peel back up or anything like that. So we're going to wash this down real quick. We're going to remove this rear license plate, give it a good wash just down on the bottom because that is still very dirty, and then we'll be good to go. So like I said, you have to make sure the bumper is clean, otherwise the vinyl is not going to stick at all. And there might even be debris that you can see through the vinyl. You might get a little bit of air bubbles, a little bit of dust under there, and it will pop through, and you will notice some slight bumps in your vinyl if you don't wash it off. So clean the bumper and you're all set to lay some vinyl. Let's set the bumper up on some stands and we can start wrapping and cutting our vinyl for the bumper. Let's get to it. All right, let me tell you, if you have a friend or a buddy or anyone willing to lend you an extra pair of hands, definitely take them up on it because it'll make your time so much easier and so much faster. But all we're doing here is overlaying the section we're going to be wrapping, and by that I mean slightly overlay it with some vinyl so that there is minimal waste. Okay, so I have my wrap in place, ready to go, kind of getting the vision in my head. I think this is gonna be awesome. So I need a heat gun, and that's gonna help us kind of mold the wrap to all the corners and tuck it where we need to. So get yourself a heat gun. I'm gonna grab mine and we can finish up this wrap job. So this is the last footage I have of me actually wrapping the bumper. While editing the video, I noticed that I have no other footage of me actually wrapping the bumper. So let's get back to the video. We're back, day 2 on this guy, and this is how it's looking so far. Not too shabby. We got all the way up to about here, and then I was running out of daylight, so I didn't really get this part done. And then we also got to cut in this last little piece there, and then just do minor adjustments, like right here. I think I cut it a bit too far and it started peeling back a little bit, and right here. So I'm probably just gonna do another piece and then throw the light right in. That way you won't be able to see any of the white coming through the vinyl. Let's jump back on this guy, finish up the bumper, and then we can get started on running our lights, or at least hooking up our lights into this thing and then running it into the trunk. This was honestly so much harder than I originally thought it was gonna be. Let's finish wrapping this guy. I'm gonna really try and work out all the crinkles. I know it's like not the best work, but this is the second time I've done something. Honestly, not too bad for a beginner. Not gonna be 100% perfect. We'll just have to work out some of these air bubbles in here, which we can do after. So let's finish this guy up and then we can get started on our lights. Unfortunately, the vinyl wasn't long enough, so all we're doing here is cutting in the last remaining portion of our valence section, and honestly, you can't really notice the difference. A few hours later, and I believe it's all done. Well, the wrapping anyway, for the most part. Looks pretty good. Definitely looks like an amateur did it, but you know what? I think that looks pretty sweet. Now that we have all the wrap on, we can go ahead and get our... Let me find these things. I have no idea where I put them. Where did I leave them? Where are they? Right here. Right here. All right. So now that the wrap's on, we can go ahead and how do these guys go in? So we're gonna fit these lights in, and then we will work on getting all the wires hooked up with the appropriate connectors and all that. So let's throw these lights in. So before we put the bumper back on the car, we're gonna throw in our replacement LED deflector lights so we can kind of see how everything's gonna look, how everything's gonna run, and kind of get a game plan on where the wires are gonna lead to. So let's take a look at how everything looks before we put it on. All right, everybody, here is the bumper. Looking absolutely stunning. It is a little crinkled, there are bubbles, but you know what, I'm really not worried about that. Like, it looks so minimal. Okay, we're jumping on to the lights and our wires now. So where they will be going is connecting to the wiring harness for our, I think it would just be the brake lights. You'll have one wire that powers it, one wire for the ground, and I think the other wire will tap into the function for turning your brake lights on and off, so daytime running and nighttime lights. This is where our wires are going to be running through this little rubber grommet right here. So we got one on this side, we got another grommet right here, so we're just going to drill a hole right through the center of this grommet, and then we will put our bumper back on, run the wires through, install the bumper so that's not going to go anywhere, and then we can figure out the wiring for these lights. Grab yourself your drill, get your drill. I'm just going to get a different drill bit. I'm going to take your drill, give it a nice hole. Actually, it might need to be a little bigger than that, but one hole here. Just like that. Okay, so we got our bumper attached. Now we will be tackling our lights. So you're gonna grab the yellow wire, which controls your brake light. The smaller one is just for your turn signal. So this is the one we're going to be working with. And if you just split the tape, you will see you have, on this model anyway, it is black, green, and orange. Same with the other side. I'm gonna grab some of these clips, find whatever size. We got different sizes here, and I'm just simply going to clip 3 of these. So every wire, all 3 of these wires is going to get one of these clips, and then that'll make it easier to just wire in these guys. No, oh no, where'd that go? So I'm gonna throw those clips on first, and then I will put the other little connector terminal on each of these guys. So each of these wires gets one of these, and each of these wires will get a clamp that will connect. So let me go do that and I will be right back. Took the whole day. Finally got everything back, got everything working. Looks amazing. Let me show you guys the final product. I'm so stoked. This took forever. I thought the wrapping was annoying, but getting those connections with those little clips is such a pain. Okay, so let me show you guys how it looks. I cannot describe how pumped I am to finally have this done. Those look unreal, and the bumper looks amazing. I mean, from a distance it looks amazing. Up close it's like, yeah, but you know what? I'm so proud. I'm so happy. My back is killing me, but we did it. Now, I would love to do some eyelids for this thing. I don't know if I'm gonna do that right now because I've been at this all flipping day. But I'm pumped that we got that done. Oh my God, like the Mazda looks sick. Looks so cool. I'm so happy with how this turned out. Let's take another look quick. Check it out. Unfortunately, I lost a bunch of footage. 3 hours of footage completely gone. I will show you how the wiring should look when it's all said and done and hooked up to the wiring harness for the brake light. So I'm gonna show you guys that. Unfortunately, I can't show you any other footage of me wrapping the bumper. That's all gone. Let me show you, I'm gonna open the trunk. Let me show you how the wiring should look for the rear deflector lights. So I'm sure you guys can see all those clips hanging off the yellow harness. So that's how it should look. We got all of our T-clamps. That's what they're called, T-clamps. Oh, and another thing. I have been saying this whole video, I've been saying Valiance. It's called Valence. The rear bumper valence, not Valiance, valence. So my mistake. Yeah, I've been pronouncing that wrong throughout this whole video. We have wrapped the rear bumper valence on the Mazdaspeed 3. Anyway, let's get back to the wires real quick. I don't know a better way for you guys to see this right now. You got your three, I know it's really hard to see. You got your 3 T-clamps, 1, 2, flip it over. There's the third one, white to orange, red to green, black to black. And that is exactly how you're gonna wire everything in. That side is done. The right side, the passenger side, is also done. That being said, this video is officially done. We have done the rear bumper valence. We have done the rear bumper deflector LEDs. And we will be doing the headlight eyelids in the next video. So I appreciate you all so much for tuning into this video. Drop a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more videos, and hit that bell. Make sure to hit that bell for post notifications and all that kind of stuff. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, drive safe. I'll see you guys next time. No free advertisements, so this guy might be wrapped in black too. Haven't made up my mind, but I'm thinking about it.